What's up, peers? And welcome to Bitcoin to the Max here on the World Crypto Network. Today we talk about scarcity and why goods are classified as scarce and what makes them so, and what are non-scarce goods, and why eventually private property arises out of that entire question. So scarcity, explained on an example, is when when Alice has her apple, right? She has full control over it, and she's the only one who decides what to do with this apple. And if she decides to hand it over to Bob, well, then Bob has full control and full ownership in that sense over this apple, and Alice no longer, right? She has relinquished her control over the apple by handing it over to Bob. And now Bob has full control over the apple and therefore ownership. So here in a scarce good, you cannot copy it, you cannot multiply it. There is a attribute to it that once you give them away, it's gone. And you do not hold back a copy. You do not retain anything, but you relinquish everything. That is the attribute of scarcity, and it makes sense if you have a pen, or if you have an apple, or if you have a silver coin. If you give it away, well, you no longer have it. That's just how physics works, right? However, there are goods and attributes that are non-scarce, so the opposite to that, which means that, again, on an example, if Alice is singing a beautiful song, right, that she has just made up in her own mind. This idea of the thought of the song and the melody of it. And now she communicates that to Bob. And she sings him a song, right? And now Bob is hearing her words, the tune, the melody, and everything. And he's acquiring all this information. However, does Alice relinquish control over the song? No, she still has it, right? It's still in her mind. The idea of the song, the melody, and the words are still with her. She hasn't relinquished control. She hasn't given anything away to Bob, but she has shared it with him. She has made a copy of this non-scarce good, and she has given Bob the copy. So if we would pull that back into the physical scarce good realm, it would be if Alice has an apple and she gives Bob this apple, but in the instance of her giving Bob the apple, Alice would have in her left hand all of a sudden another apple that was pretty much identical to the apple that she has given away to Bob. This is, of course, nonsensical in the physical meat space world, because most of these goods around us are scarce, right? There are billions of them, countless amounts of them. Every atom, so to say, is a scarce good, because it can only be on one place. Well, maybe let's not get into physics here, not my subject. And the beautiful thing with ideas is, contrarily, when you share them with others, you don't lose anything. Quite contrary, you actually gain, because the idea spreads, the network expands, and your thought and the emotions aligning to those, and eventually the actions, have been changed through your act of sharing this information. So not only have you increased your network, you have actively manifested change. And that is something of immense power. And the more people have your idea, the more people are in your network, the more peers you have. And the more Alice shares her melody, the more people will hear of it, the more might like it, and the more will utilize it in their own network. So again, we have Metcalfe's law, the network effect, which derives out of this non-scarce attribute. And that is fundamentally what the internet is, right? It is a network which shares information, digital non-scarce goods, emails, pictures, PDF documents, cat videos, whatever it is, information, and of course music, right? MP3 is a huge part in this. All this stuff is a non-scarce good. So when I have a copy of the MP4 video format of this video, I have it, right? I control it. I can watch it. but I could also share it with others, with you, my peers, in my network. And I still retain it. I can still rewatch the same video over and over and over again. So the digital scarce, non-scarce good of this video, I can share with as many people as I want. And that is inherent in information and inherent in the internet. And so humankind has built ourselves this network of non-scarce goods, all being shared and communicated across all peers on the network. And out of all this chaos, so to say, there arises scarcity with Bitcoin. We have found a way to manipulate our words, the spoken word and the written code, a non-scarce, a purely non-scarce goods of software and digital information. And we have made it in such a way that we achieve scarcity, that we have made a good that we can, by simply uttering a word, relinquish all control over it. When I, with the written or spoken or typed in word of cryptography of mathematics, with signing a Bitcoin transaction, with speaking, so to say, I relinquish full control over that set of UTXO, over that Bitcoin, in a way that I can never take it back, especially after longer confirmations. And this is utterly mind-blowing if you think about it like this, that out of the non-scarce good of digital information and through social consensus and anarchy, not chaos, it emerges a pattern of speech, a social consensus, a Schelling point that derives at a point of scarcity. And that is why Bitcoin is so beautiful. And that is why Bitcoin to the max. Thank you very much, Piers, for joining me today here on the World Crypto Network. It's been as always a pleasure talking about you. This is one of my favorite subjects, scarcity and non-scarcity. So thank you. This show is brought to you by you, my peers, the patrons of the World Crypto Network. Thank you very much for supporting us and for keeping us going here and bringing out this information, because this is non-scarce work. Right? We increase the network of the Bitcoin knowledge, and we archive it and make it so that it is kept forever in this network, which we call the internet. And thanks to you, supporters on patreon.com/WCN and tallyco.in/HillebrandMax or MacBitcoins. Thank you very much for your support. And as a token of gratitude, you receive these shows a bit earlier than the others, so you get access to these non-scarce informations first before we share them with everyone else. So thank you very much, and see you on the next show.